came on. Yep, Fort Wayne. Audio check, ladies and gentlemen, audio check. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Audio check, audio check, audio check. Audio check, ladies and gentlemen. Doing a temporary stream from the car today with Pedro. Having some technical issues, as always. We'll be with you in just a minute, or 2, or 5. All right, good day, everybody. One last audio check. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the mobile DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show. If anything, from the front seat of a car today. Making the drive from Chicago to Toronto. I'm sorry, from Toronto to Chicago. Coming back to the U.S. for a 4th of July celebration and to spend a month in Chicago, seeing the fams and enjoying it with Mrs. Striking in the U.S. Gonna have a good time. Anyway, today is July 7th. No, that's not July 7th. This I'm all out of sorts. July 2nd, 2025. We got an interesting day. Bitcoin is pumping. Big news on the Robinhood front, and lots going on in the markets. I'm waiting for Pedro to show up. We may have gotten our times crossed with some time zone issues. Not sure, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here for you. If you got any questions or comments, let me know. One of the things going on today, as you can see from the chart here next to me, Bitcoin moving, grooving, pumping all week. Actually, for longer than that. All of last week, we saw if you subscribe to Bookmap, we see a red line right at the $109,000 mark. Lots of orders there, lots of stops that are going to get closed out there, and we couldn't hit it. Would come up to 107, would come up to 108, drop back down to 105, 104, 103, and then move back up. Couldn't hit it. Today, or yesterday opened up, Monday opened up, and it's non-farm payroll. So yesterday was kind of a crazy day. Chart going up, chart going down, chart going up, chart going down. Nothing substantial for a move. And then today, the old Bitcoin here, this morning around 10 a.m. started looking a little bullish. I was watching the Crypto Lifer show and he just called it. He said 8 hours hot, 4 hours hot, and there's a little bull flag here. I'm going to get in. And it pumped. I went all the way to 109 and cleared out those stops. Was a good run, as they say. Give me a second here. Welcome everybody watching us on Rumble. Everyone watching us on YouTube. I'm just going to check the stream real quick here, just to make sure everything is fine with it. Everybody, thanks for that. Pedro is on the way. He'll be with us shortly. So we're going to hang out and talk about Bitcoin for a little bit. Normally, this is when I'd interject with the news stories that we had, but here he comes now, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, sorry about that.
That's all right. Just Pedro, your mics are live.
Awesome. Awesome. So, alrighty. Change that up.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, having a mobile stream today here. I got started here a few minutes ago to test everything out. Pedro's just joining us right now.
I literally had a midday nap, not normal, but
I suspected that was the case.
Yeah, I woke up and then went to use the bathroom, looked at the time, and was like, wait, he's on. Shoot, what's going on?
You know, I waited a few minutes for you, ladies, and with our massive audience we have today. But there was a suspected that even if the DYOR YouTube channel alert did not bring you to it, I'm like, perhaps there's an afternoon nap going on. But anyway, Mr. Pedro Garcia is with us right now. Pedro, I'm controlling this whole thing on my phone because my laptop in the car here is dead. So I'm going to take him and I'm going to turn the stream over to you. I talked a little bit about Bitcoin from my perspective of watching it pump this morning. But that's all I've really spoken about. My screen is still showing on the feed, and I got to take a second to undo that and put yours back on. It's not so simple mobile.
Absolutely, and you're driving, so it changes everything.
No, I'm riding, and Mrs. Striking is driving.
Oh, yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to turn the show over to Pedro for a minute. I'll be back in just a second. Give me a second to get my screen back up, Pedro. Or your screen back up.
Yes. Hey, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Sorry for the late afternoon show here. We are having a good time. Tom is in transit right now from Canada into the States again. And so we've got some stuff going on. So thank you for being a part of today's show. We appreciate every one of you guys. Let's go ahead and go into Bitcoin. So basically, Bitcoin rejected the low here, and we are continuing up. It's pretty simple. Again, I mean, if you look, there's hardly any volume. I mean, comparative to the rest, I mean, this up movement, you know, it's just not. I'm not in it, honestly. You saw Tuesday we had a ton of selling coming in, and then on the open here, and the let me make sure this is set to the right time. Yep. So 21 would be 7. So during the why am I forgetting what it's called? The oh wow. CME open. During the CME open here, you can see here that we're kind of just chilling here. And there we are. I'm like waiting, saying, where you guys at? Looking at my moving averages. It's just real interesting to sit there and see that the market is going up still. It baffles me. The CME, maybe there was too many people trying to sell and they came in for the buy. It's the only thing I can really consider, or unless there was a news event that we don't know about. Let's check it here real quick. And Justin, this was yesterday for July 1st. We'll just go over the news here real quick while Tom is coming back on. Fed Chair Powell calls crypto stablecoin a positive stable or step and says framework is well underway. President Trump says if Doge looks into Elon Musk, we are gonna save a fortune. That was kind of crazy when we started seeing this again. President Trump says anyone would be better than Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Senate passes President Trump's one big beautiful bill. There's a lot of pork in it. We all heard it's going to increase the debt by $5 trillion. Yeah, it's just not, kind of sad. It really is. Hopefully a lot of that really pushes the economy up and we can really see the market really pick up. A lot more jobs in the private sector, a lot more innovation, which would be great. Binance founder CZ donates 10 million BTC to Vitalik Buterin open source biotech project, which I thought was really.
Wait, 10 million BTC.
Yeah, $10 million in BTC.
Oh, $10 million.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, whoa, 10 million, that's half the supply.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I bet you if there is one person in the world that does have maybe half the supply, it would be Binance. I mean, they were really the first kid on the block outside of Ethereum. And during the last bull run, they just killed it. I mean, that's where all the meme coins were at. It was absolutely bonkers. BNB got up to, I mean, now it's, if you consider it, I mean, it's still a juggernaut, but I mean, when it went from 25 cents all the way to $600, that was absolutely crazy. So in a nutshell here, Tom is back. As we talk about BTC, honestly, we sold off and it just, actually we didn't even really sell off. We just basically hiccuped and we're back up. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. That's the best way of putting it. And well, next place.
Yeah, Pedro, if you can move that over a little bit, it's behind. I'm not transparent today, so I'm taking up more real estate than normal.
Yes.
You don't need to move it over that far.
All right.
But yeah, at the beginning of the week, it was like, what's it going to do? Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? It's non-farm payroll week, so things get a little funky. There is a banking holiday this week, and it's a vacation week. We got people off, taking the whole week off in Canada because Kanuka Day was yesterday. The 4th of July holiday is this Friday. So it makes for a lot of people, a lot of liquidity coming out of the market because people are on vacation. Like I said, Wall Street people head to the Jersey Shore, head out to the Hamptons, go party with Billy Joel, and do all that during the breaks from Wall Street. And we saw, Pedro, before you were on, there was a big liquidity on Bookmap. It showed massive squeeze coming at 109,000, showed heavy liquidity there. And it had been there all for the past 7 days. It's running up and getting it, or not 7 days, but for a while. Maybe for a full week. And so in those, usually after a few days, the short positions and the stops work themselves out and change positions as orders come and go. But this was just a giant fat one at 109, and it stayed there. And people kept wondering, when's it going to run up and get it? When's it going to run up and get it? And it ran up and got it today.
And then, and did it sell off much? I mean, I'm looking.
No, it was right at 109.
So right here, 109. So you saw it come in, it had a little bit of a hiccup. That's this area coming in, a bunch of shorts. Excuse me, sorry about that. It's just, look, it just doesn't make sense. Look at all this selling pressure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we have the buyer pressure here, but I mean, you also have big amounts of seller pressure. So it just doesn't make sense to me right now. It just doesn't. It should. We should be seeing a sell-off, but it's pushing up. I wonder why it's pushing up. I mean, these big 15-minute candles here, obviously they're buyers. We'll have to see what's up. But I mean, if you're saying there's liquidity from the seller book.
Yeah, the book map was showing it right at 109. There was a massive amount there, like thousands. And when you click on it, it would say there would be thousands and thousands of Bitcoins in the ask category. Now, obviously, we all know that exchanges and other large traders put orders in to make it look like there's liquidity, and so, but you see that come and go. This one was just there for a long time, so someone had a big order in, either to cover, either it was just a natural sell, whatever. There was a lot there, and it ran up and got it today. Is it backing off a little from 109 now over the past hour?
Yeah, it is. It's starting to kind of pull back a little, but it's still on an uptrend. You can see here. I want to see lower highs. So if this tops off, here's the high for the day of the 109.90 on the Bitfinex BTC USD chart, and you can see here like this is starting to put in the lower high. We have twin towers here playing around. but again, we don't see a ton of volume coming in off of it. So I just don't know if this is a rope-a-dope where they're trying to bring people in so they can continue it up. That they're running out of sellers, so they're trying to create the sellers here. The biggest issue that we just need to kind of pay attention to is this: is how is it going to react below this low here? If this comes in and we see a ton of volume come in right here, it's going to push back up. If we see volume come in at this level, at the highs here, that means that it's going to continue down. So we just got to see more volume come in at the top here for this 15-minute candle as it overshadows this. That's how you know that it's rejecting the high here and going to continue down. But that's really not what we're seeing. We're kind of just seeing indecision here. You said it perfectly. We're at the 4th of July weekend or week. Like you said perfectly as well. People come in, are they, they're setting up for the Hamptons. It's a perfect Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, the real traders aren't even really in the market here right now. So this is just be play. And then come Monday or Tuesday, we just see the sell off. And then they basically take everybody's liquidity and then run with it. So it could be something like that as well. I was expecting us to continue further down, but it could not have hurt that there's a ceasefire coming in with Gaza, as well as looks like Trump's little disagreement with Elon or with the big beautiful bill is kind of calming down a little. His rhetoric has kind of chilled out, especially when he said maybe Doge should do a deep dive into Elon Musk company. So it was
Elon's a smart guy, but he's I guess, as they say, being on the spectrum there isn't working in politics. He needs to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, as the great Kenny Rogers used to sing.
Know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to watch.
Look at you with the deep voice.
Know when to run. Yeah, that's what it had.
Well, Mr. Sam Elliott there.
Gotta count your tickets. No, count your money. Been sitting at the table. Plenty of time to count when the dealing's done. Come on, everybody. We got to know when to hold them. I know when to show them. Anyways.
Michigan. Have you Michiganders listening here? I mean, my God, the drivers in Michigan are the worst. An asphalt truck just merged onto the highway here on a tight on-ramp, going at least 100 million miles an hour. He's 13 feet tall, full of 100,000 pounds of asphalt in it. And now he's getting in the left lane. Oh, yeah.
That's what she said. Oh, sorry. I had to do it. Did anything. Dude, as everybody can see, I've been looking at new shower heads, trying to figure out one that's all metal, as it's giving me this right here. Dual. The only problem is I can't get a good enough, what do they call that?
Water pressure?
No, not even water pressure. I want really good filtering system. I mean, I was in the military. I remember when they basically turned the showers off to a drizzle and said, "All right, shower time." Right? So I can handle a little water. I just want to make sure that it's pure water. It's crazy. DuPont dumped a ton of chemicals, and everybody's getting cancer from drinking the water out here. And I just don't want to.
Oh, and not only that, but the people on the military bases are all, most people probably don't know that military bases for ages were not centers of hazardous waste management. Now they are. There's so many processes and the military has a rule for everything now. But back in the day, they just dumped stuff all over the place because they had to get ready for war during the Vietnam War and stuff. And all these military bases have the worst water, and cancer rates are through the roof.
Yeah, it's actually really sad. I was at the VA. Misjudged my annual physical, and it was so interesting, or put it at the wrong, instead of putting in the time that I needed to put it at the wrong time, but the correct date. So it's just the wrong month. Anyways, so what was interesting is I went there and I saw this. I had to go get blood. And I went in there and I saw this old timer. And he was just red blotches all over his body. And I was like, oh, man. I said, what's going on? And he goes, I think kidney cancer. Good old orange pain. It's dividends. And I was like, oh,
that's all will fall out of the truck like rocks.
Yeah. It was pretty sad, man. Like when he said good old Asian orange doing its thing. I'm surprised they haven't complained about calling it Asian orange. You know? I mean, they got mad at us when we were calling it the China virus. So, go figure.
Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome everyone on Rumble watching us. A couple more viewers and we'll get one of those fun ads to read. We couldn't be happier with 1775 coffee. Giving us, I think I ended up the other day enough for a cup of coffee we've earned from them.
Nice. Well, did you see that viral video going around basically showing the big Starbucks coffee when you get it, right? They fill it up with ice, and then you basically it's the same amount as a small no ice coffee.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, I started laughing. They're like, yeah, if you really want to get a good deal, just go in, ask for a small, no ice coffee, iced coffee. And I was like, oh, man, really? So, yeah, there you go. Nice little viral video.
Scammers.
They do.
Scammers.
Good. Well, they got to figure out a way to make a buck.
Or a couple $100 billion.
Couple $100 billion. I'm just kind of cruising through the charts here right now. Everything's kind of just chilling. BNB is starting to show some strength up, but still, it's not. We're not seeing much of a move here. We gotta know when to hold them. All right. This one is dead, man. I gotta go and clean house here.
Which chart is that?
This was Algorand.
Wow, look at that pump.
Yeah, absolutely. Got all the way up to 60 cent here from 11 cents. That little 6x there. Kind of pull back down here. Might be a good area. I forget what Algorand does, but it's another major community. Good old BAT token. Crow. Oh, did you hear about Diddy?
Yeah, you got off on the major charges, but then got a little one of the smaller ones. So no life in prison or anything like that. Yeah. I'm not sure of the details. That's just kind of what I got while I'm driving in the car here.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess a lot of people are upset, especially for the women who came out and accused him of a bunch of things. So it's really interesting to see that. I don't really know about that. I mean,
all I know is that there was a lot of he said, she said going on, and which happens a lot when people with tons of money get stupid. Eventually, a lawyer gets wind of it, and he gets all the victims, as they call them, together. All the victims that whether or not they have an ironclad story or a crappy one, didn't matter. He gets them together and paints a negative picture of them. Next thing you know, he gets charges against them. But he got the RICO charges dropped. For those of you not in the United States, RICO is short for Racketeer Influenced Corrupt Organization. And it essentially means you are running. It was designed to take down the mafia and gangs that were not really real organizations, but needed to be prosecuted as an organization. And the government likes to bring those charges. They're so harsh that even a small RICO charge, especially if you're the leader of it, means a long time in prison. And it's clear that Diddy was not running a large criminal organization. He was running a large media company, which was completely legal and doing well. But he had this dark side of being a wealthy person that has never had anyone that says no to him, and those people grow up a little differently. But I thought the most interesting thing I heard about the whole thing, Pedro, and I don't remember if I brought this up the other day or not, was what Dave Chappelle said. He said, well, first of all, he had two things he said that were really funny. He said, one, somebody said, Dave, why weren't you at any of those parties? You know, Dave's like, every African American that's in the comedy world, in the music world, in the movie world, they're all at one point or another, someone was at, everyone in the industry was at one of his parties. And he said, I never was there. I was never asked. That can only mean one thing. He said, I'm really ugly. And he said, it was pretty funny. He's like, but no, I never, there was no invite. No one delivered. Mr. Chappelle, you're invited. My text didn't blow up. Hey man, why aren't you at Diddy's? He said, I think I got really lucky. He said, then the other thing is, he said, in the trial, it came out that Diddy had boxes of lotion, of baby oil, and empty bottles of baby oil all over the place. He said, now I've got baby oil. And he kind of gave a look like, but he said, it is the same bottle that my mama used when putting diapers on me. And he said, I've probably used this much of it in all the years since I've been out of diapers. And he said, what exactly do you need? What needs to happen to have boxes and tons of empty bottles? He goes, what kind of parties were those? he's like, yeah. And I thought about that too. I was like, yeah, my mom had a bottle of baby oil. It was the same one. It had like a 1960s label on it. And she probably still has the same bottle too. But Diddy, boxes and boxes and boxes of them and tons of empty bottles. That's when you know, as the crowd here in the car says, a slip and slide party.
Man, all I gotta say is I feel bad for Justin Bieber.
Yeah, he got roped up into that as a youngin'.
Poor kid, man. Like he was a kid. I was like 13, 14. He got messed up, I feel bad for him. I mean, at that, like, he was at that point, he was making millions, and Diddy was supposed to be a mentor, supposed to be looking out for him. The other thing I think about is just, there was this moment in the trial where Usher goes on and he's testifying, and he says, to Diddy, hey man, why are you doing this? And he goes, well, it was done to me. And it was just one of those things that was just
the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life.
But I thought to myself, wait, what do you mean it was done to you? That kind of is what blows me away. Like, hurt people hurt people. You've heard that saying. I just wondered, like, who is doing this to you? And like, and you're like, you took it and went 10x with it. At least that's what we think, right? And then the part of it, and then the backside of me thinks, wait, why aren't you snitching on the people who did it to you, dog? Like you caught up for this, why don't you could quickly get out of that situation. But then if Diddy, who everybody's afraid of in the industry, is afraid of somebody else, won't even mention it, I'm like, what else are we missing? Yeah.
Anyway, Pedro, Algorand, proof of stake blockchain, made by a famous cryptographer, Silvio Macaulay. Usual thing, it aims to provide secure, scalable, and efficient infrastructure. Scalability and speed is known for, when it was founded at 6,000 transactions per second, and block finality of only 3 seconds. I'm getting the either police or object in the road warning in my head. It says it's a fully decentralized network, no central authority, 2,000 nodes globally. And one of the things they're pushing lately is, of course, like everything else, tokenizing real-world assets. It's the car on the side of the road that's merging back in. However, Algorand faces competition from Solana and other Layer 1 blockchains. While growing, its ecosystem is smaller than Ethereum's or Binance Smart Chains, all obvious things. Recent developments, Algorand's improved its transactions per second. It's even faster than 6,000. And as usual, it has its own coin, Algo. But very similar issue to many other blockchains. Has smart contracts, has tokens on it, has meme coins, has everything else. But doesn't fully have the adoption they want. I was looking for things like Avalanche getting the California DMV to use their blockchain, or the UAE, the Dubai Land and Title Group picking Ripple to use their ledger to keep track of ownership of land and titles. Of which I might add, the rulers there own all the land, so it's only going to be a couple of transactions per year.
Interesting.
And so Algorand is a from the various things that a couple of AIs told me, a very robust system that's just now one of many looking for customers.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of the companies out there that we've talked about now, the tokenization of stocks. It's a little off subject. We're switching companies here, but Robinhood came out, and we talked about, I think we mentioned this 3 days ago, that Algorand went through, and not Algorand, Robinhood went through and is now tokenizing stocks, and you can buy stocks that are tokenized on Robinhood, as well as a lot of other major entities out there, which I like. We're watching Coinbase. We're also watching the other company. Why am I forgetting what it's called? Crypto.com, and a few other exchanges. Kraken, allowing for you to buy these stocks, and they're actually tokenized stocks, which is going to trade 24/5, so 24 hours a day for 5 days a week. I think it's going to probably open up on Sunday evening, just like we see with the futures. And it's going to be so interesting is that when you buy it on any of these exchanges, especially with Robinhood, you actually buy tokenized coin, and then the exchange goes through and buys a real stock, and it's a 1-to-1 value. And that means that the U.S. stock market is now being a product for the rest of the world versus just Americans or approved entities through with KYC exchanged value. So I thought was really interesting is literally we're going to have futures, right? Like we're going to see the trading throughout the whole entire day, whereas we talked about this because I said it's just a matter of time where we see a hybrid of these two come together. And I think this is just the start of it. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. And I keep bringing this up because it's just a matter of time before we see this situation happen. And everybody jumps in. So I just thought that was really just kind of cool, like watching that happen and seeing what is actually taking place here, especially with modern day stocks. I'm really looking forward to seeing a perpetual future on the CME, where you no longer have to sit there. I mean, it's basically a mix between currency and a future stock, or a currency future, a cryptocurrency future, because there's a difference between, and there is a currency future as well, but this is a cryptocurrency future on a cryptocurrency exchange. That many of us can change your leverage, whereas right now, if you trade any type of future on the CME, it's a stagnant leverage. So unless you're trading a micro. So I think it's really, really interesting to see this actually take place today, and watching the traditional finance and watching new products come about with it. So I don't know, we've talked about the dollars and how the dollars, like USDC, the movements. I mean, just if we look at just this week.
Well, hold on, Pedro. I want to talk about that Robinhood thing for the tokenization of stocks, and people will be able to create baskets now of these tokenized versions that, the single basket, you can press one button to buy or sell a basket that has stocks in it, crypto in it, and indexes on it, like BT, the platform BTCC exchange, crypto exchange, has added NASDAQ, has added gold, has added, you've asked me to research where we can trade these. I've been putting a little time doing that. And they're adding they're adding them based on the the contracts all the prop firms use, the CPTs, or the I can't remember what they are, but they're essentially I'm totally blanking on what they're called. But anyway, they will have the ability at one exchange to trade all these products. And so, astute investors like you and me could, on your spreadsheet, put together a basket of, a Ford stock, Tesla stock, the NASDAQ, gold, and copper, and use their API, and boom, and sell all at once or buy all at once. I find that to be very interesting, and I think it'll change the dynamic of the market and the liquidity, because obviously hedge funds can do this, and companies that develop their own in-house systems can do this, or just have an IT guy to do it for people. But now, they're skipping all that and bringing these contracts right to crypto exchanges. And so people like you and me will be able to do it without setting up an IT department or having, our own liquidity pool. Sometimes big firms have to have their own in-house liquidity pools. So when the traders make these basket changes, actually the liquidity pool goes in and does all the buying and selling behind the scenes in the actual markets. So I find it to be extremely interesting on how it'll fundamentally change the markets by basically bringing in the retail level liquidity for the institutions to take.
Yeah.
We talk about this every day, is that, the institutions don't want the retail people in there just for fun and something to talk about at the club. They want them there because they provide that extra liquidity when they need it. They're like, if only the market would go up 10 more points, we could hit all our bonuses and all that. Let's put out some news about how great the market is. And then all of a sudden the retail market, FOMO is into it. Market goes up 10%, boom, all the guys hit their bonuses, get their commissions, head to the Hamptons and the Jersey Shore. That's how it works.
I mean, it really does. It's actually kind of shocking. I mean, I actually look forward to seeing, and it's starting to become much more tightly wound here compared to other times. But we're watching a lot of these stable coins going through, and they're creating just a more tighter range, but you still have this fluctuation of, I wonder if the institutions are starting to take advantage of this, because you can see here we're starting to find more parity around $1, and the ranges on these are becoming tighter.
Hey, Pedro.
Yep.
It's that time for that to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
You know what, Pedro, I'm on this long drive here. Need a little caffeine, you know?
Really?
I can really use some coffee. Do you have any ideas about some good brands of coffee?
I heard about this one called 1776. It's pretty amazing. Do you know anything about
No,
it?
that's its older cousin.
Oh.
It's
1775 coffee.
That's right. Well, I could use some 1775 coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, if you still haven't tried 1775 coffee, now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only 1,000 units. Just like Bitcoin, it's scarce. You're getting the bold, dark roast that hits harder than a CNN fact check, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. No. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Plus, you're also getting, this is my favorite part, a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped in plastic. Nope. You're also going to get a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions. Just came from my mother-in-law's. Our political opinions happen to match, so it's good discussions. In a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. No sea witches. Ladies and gentlemen, $175 for the coffee. This Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. It is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. 1775 coffee, $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. Over here on, let's see, this way, that way. This way, on that side of the screen, there's a QR code. No, that way. Whatever, on the side of the screen that I can't see, there's a QR code. Click it and visit our advertisers, ladies and gentlemen. Peruse their website. Just let them know, hey, DYOR's viewers, Tom and Pedro's viewers, are there and they're interactive and they want to learn more about it. It helps us out if you do that. Also, in the comment section on Rumble here, you'll see a link to 1775 coffee, and also in the body of this on YouTube and Twitch and Twitch, you'll see the link to 1775 coffee also. So, ladies and gentlemen, 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone.
Yeah, you got it here, guys. 1775 coffee. Go check them out. I probably should have had one of those earlier and kept working, but I was like, man, I am exhausted. My body just said, you know what? You need to go take a nap. And I should have said, no, I'm going to go drink that 1775 coffee.
Welcome, Crypto Mike, to the house. What up, boys? Didn't think I'd make it. Welcome to Crypto Mike from Manitoba, Kanukistan. Mike, hope you had a great Kanukistani day. The missus and I are on our way to the United States from Canada. We had a nice Canada Day, and we're now going to have a nice 4th of July.
You know why? Because he knows when to hold them. Knows when to fold them. All right. Okay.
Know when to walk away. Know when to run. You just count your money. We sang that so well, we'll probably get a copyright strike.
Oh, dang. I can't help it because I got to let my vocals run. Some people used to call me the Sultran of Soul. Hey. Anyways, so jumping back to what we were talking about. So watching the gaiety of many of the institutions, right? Like watching them getting in on a lot of these stable coins, and look at this one right here. I forget. I think this is Tron's TUSD. I think that's correct. Let me make sure. Who owns TUSD? But it's interesting to sit there and see what's actually happening here. Stablecoin True USD is owned and operated by Tree, a firm incorporated in the British Isles Islands, acquired USD, Arc Block, formerly Trust Coin. Ah, yes, this is the Trust Wallet coin in December 2020, but only assumed full operations controlled in July 23 of 2023, including minting, redemptions, and compliance oversight. However, the story doesn't end there. In 2025, TUSD faced a major liquidity crisis when over 456 million of its reserves were discovered to be tied up in unauthorized and illiquid investments via its fiduciary responsibility, a fiduciary partner, First Digital Trust. This led to allegations of mismanagement and even a bailout by Justin Sun, the founder of Tron, who stepped in with emergency capital to stabilize the situation. Yeah. So, but if you look at this thing fluctuates. So right here is the yellow, and this is parity at $1. Okay. And you can see here that probably 10 times a week or 10 times a month, this thing comes down to 99 cents and goes up to 101. And I mean, that's crazy. We're talking that's a 2% spread here, probably 20 times a week. We're talking it's 20% that you can make on this by keeping it at parity, knowing that it's going to go back up to $1, sell off when it gets up above or that $1, 1 cent area. You then take the short and write it down to $1. It's really interesting that this, I mean, it's just, there's so much money potential. And if we see a bigger sell off, right, but you can see that the average movement here is so small, and you're like, well, why would I trade that? Because if you're dealing with a stable coin, that stable coin is to always be, it's going to be less, I know it's going to sound weird, but less volatile during volatile times when the market in crypto is volatile. So if I'm looking to take a trade, let's say, and like, let's say a constant trade on the day, I can go long and go short on these stable coins here. That allows you to be able to go through and be able to capitalize on just your money sitting and holding. And I think it's just really interesting, you know, buying more or selling more, right? As it goes up high, you sell it off, right? Because you're making more money. And then knowing that it's going to come back down to 99 cents there, you buy it again, or you just sell it. And you're talking, these are 1% differences, but it's a pretty big, over a period of 3 months, a year, of a fluctuation of 0.5% to 1% a day you can capitalize on. You're talking 300%, 200%. I mean, it's a good little money exchange, and there's going to be so many of these that's going to be happening. But I'm actually really looking forward to kind of.
Pedro, but you're not the first person to notice this. People have been playing the spreads on stable coins a lot, especially since Luna went down in flames. And so there's got to be something behind the scenes that doesn't make it, where you must have to use $100 million trade to make very, you need deep pockets to be in it. In other words, the money you and I could put together, each day we might earn 2 cents.
All right, do me a favor. 2 cents. Compound interest.
I knew you were going to go there.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, look, you took a $700 or $300, turned it into $700, $800 by even, like I said, just make a little bit of cash. I don't care. Just get on first base. You know what I'm saying? And as you did your analysis, you realized, wait, vast majorities that I made money in were maybe 4 or 5 trades that really just were home runs, right? You get, like I said, you get about 2 home runs a week. but the majority of them are going to be singles and doubles. And sometimes you run into first base, but you just don't, you slide into first base and that's it. So you stay there, you get out of the trade. Those are what add up. And so to me, I look for the small nuances. And yes, everybody loves, it's funny, everybody loves to be the pilot. Going in, you've got the 747, you got the hot chick on your shoulder or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or everybody wants to be the fighter pilot, or right, you want to look hot, but
Maverick.
You know what, you want to be the maverick. Yeah, but the thing is I had this guy, he goes, Pedro, the most impressive thing is going to the bank and putting money in your bank account every single day. And I was like, what? And he goes, ain't about the millions of dollars. It's about literally going through and taking $100, $200 that you make, that is free money, and you put in the bank on a weekly, daily basis. That starts to add up. And I sat there and I was like, that's interesting. And I mean, because compound interest takes care of itself. All you got to do is just keep putting money in your bank account, and then you can add up more, and you can add up more, and you can add up more. Again, this is money that you have setting aside, that you're not having it put to capital that is fluctuating. Most people can't trade. They just don't. I'll sit there and we can show them all day long, and they're just, I don't know if they just.
Trust me, I know from personal experience.
Right. So.
You got to learn. You got to dedicate yourself to doing it.
And I think partly there is this side of things that I just show them, hey, look, when it gets above this line, sell your money, right? And buy it back when it's down at 99 cents. As soon as it gets to 102, 101, sell your dollars, buy it back at 99 cents. And that's something that the average person can sit there and go, oh, yeah. And all of a sudden you do that on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, right? And you do that, let's say daily, it starts to add up real quick. And this is where I want to bring to people, like let's use Shogun. Shogun makes a ton of money, but he's always got to have his capital running, looking for, basically scarce money. He's going through and he's in the trenches, but on the back end, right? At what point where he's going to say, like, I'm tired of this, right? Staying up almost, getting 15 hours of sleep, 14 hour, or staying up to get 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep, being in the trenches, when he can, simply set up, put his money into the stablecoin world and take, 2-3%, 4% a month. And that's 40% a year. And that's just cutting it short. You know what I'm saying? On some of these coins. And they're stable coins. So I know it's not, what's the word? Crypto sexy. But I look at it in the fact that you're making good money compared to TradFi. You're making great money. I don't know. Tom, you there? I mean, look at this one today. Literally, this is today. TUSD shot up to 103. That's 3 cents above literally the dollar. And then it shoots down here to 97 cents. That's 6 cents. That's 6% difference. And of course, it's going to come back up. You buy right here, boom. You literally just made 2 cents, or you made 3 cents here. It doesn't seem like much, but that's 3%. I mean, that's what credit cards are trying to do, So it's going to be really interesting to see what's actually happening here. Let's check out USDC here. USDC. There's a little bit more stable here. Still, look. You still got fluctuations here. Maybe saying as much, so maybe twice a month, 3 times a month, you'll get a 1% or 0.5%. So it's 1, 2, All right, not as much. So this is 2025. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12, 6%, 6% a year. That's pretty darn good. You know, and that's not even saying if it goes down further, you buying at lower levels. So not bad, you know.
Sorry about that. Hit a dead area there for about 90 seconds there.
No, I was just going over the idea again here of the stablecoin. I'm really looking forward to seeing the fluctuation within Amazon stablecoin, Walmart stablecoin. I really want to see how those are gonna move, right? Are those gonna fluctuate quite? I think they're gonna fluctuate big, you know, especially with people who do a lot of business on Amazon. You know, they're gonna go through and they're gonna get discounts. I was already hit up with a small buyer account or a small business account with Amazon. Actually, I was meaning to talk to you about that because it might be a smart thing for us to do to actually go through, set that up for the DYOR Media Network. So when we start to, let's say, go to places and we set up the news system and we're talking to people and stuff like that, I think they say within a day you can get orders where they just send it to you within a day.
We can order viewers?
Maybe not viewers, but let's say we need a doohickey that hooks onto the gigawatt, and, you know, and like we just can't do it. We hit up, say, hey, go on Amazon, and it's 40% cheaper, and you get it literally that day. So we don't got to sit there and take our time to have to go there and say, hey, drop this off at the at our Airbnb or wherever we're staying, right? So,
well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to a lot of people joining us here today. The Rumble crowd, as usual, is doing very well for us, and as usual, the YouTube crowd is pissed off. But I got to tell you, Pedro, the other day, yesterday's show, the one about Canada Day, the YouTube algorithm did recommend 87 people to come to the stream during the live. So it's not all bad over there. You just got to get something that's trending in the news, I guess, for the YouTube algorithm to pay more attention to it. But regardless of that, thank you to all you Rumble viewers. Remember, you don't have to subscribe or pay for Rumble in order to have an account. You can join Rumble here just with your email address or with your Google or Facebook login. And doing that, you can hit that like button down here in our stream, and you can follow us. We're trying to get to 200 followers because we made it into the creator program once again for Rumble, and we'd like to increase our follower account. So please do it. Please follow us. Sign up for an account here in Rumble. Share it with your friends. Do all that type of great stuff. And you can also ask us questions. We're an interactive show. I'm not so interactive today because I'm doing this from the front seat of a car instead of in our studio. But you can ask questions about cryptos, about things that you may be interested in day trading in, and we'll review them and talk about them. We won't give you financial advice or tell you what to do with your money, but we'll tell you what we do with ours and educate you about the markets, and then you can figure out what makes sense for you. So, like I said, sign up, open an account. Even if you also have a YouTube account, you can flip over there and watch on YouTube and ask questions, or just sign up here on Rumble. And you don't have to pay the $99. But if you do want to pay the $9 for an ad-free and to see the premium content, use that button below here that says Join Premium. Of course, that button won't appear until at least you join the free version first. So thanks to everyone watching. Hey, Joe, I don't have much longer left in me here. I got my other laptop out, and it's got about 10 minutes left of battery in it, and then that'll be all she wrote.
All right, well, we'll just finish this up. So here's some of the AI stocks that we've talked about. Here's Fetch. Our biggest buy area that we were talking about was this area down at that 35, 32 area. We were talking about it when it was all the way up at $2, and I said, guys, we should see it come back down to here. My bottom price area is at 32. You can see we bounced off a lot of the areas that I drew in. Boom, came up, but I really wanted to tap that low here off of this level, and so we're coming back down. We could, but we're starting to see some volume come into Fetch again. for our buyers, but I think we're coming back down to these lower areas of that 39 area. If we do be looking to pick up some here, I'm definitely looking right here down at this level here for myself. And then if it comes back, tapping that 32. So keep an eye on Fetch. Again, I don't think AI is dead yet. And then the other one I want to go over here is ICP, which is Internet Computing Project, I believe.
Yeah. Or protocol. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I think you're right. ICP, where you you can see here that we definitely came in. We tapped these areas here for ICP. We were waiting for it to kind of come down. I really like that $3 area here as we're coming down here. So this is another internet company that I'm looking to get in. I think we're definitely going to see, because of the digitized tokenized stock, I think we're also going to see the reverse of that, where tokens become stocks, and we're going to figure some out when it comes to that as well. And so I think this is going to be one of the ones that's going to be on the radar for a lot of people once they realize what it is. So keep an eye on this for the ICP, and it'll be fun. So I hear that could have been the bloop of death. So
yeah, no, it was not the bloop of death.
All right, my friend. I know you got to go, and I want to say goodbye. I want to say thank you to everybody who came in today. You guys were absolutely amazing. Thank you for showing up and listening to us ramble and talk about the news and the rest of the stuff. Not much crypto stuff really going on. Did you see anything that was really interesting? It was more or less more TradFi information.
I didn't peruse the crypto news today. I have been paying attention to the Robinhood thing. I've actually reached out to their media department to see if we can get someone to come on the show and talk about their stuff. Actually, I used to know someone in there personally, but his LinkedIn showed that he no longer works at Robinhood, and he moved on, as they say. Unfortunately, I think it was a bad time for him to leave. Anyway, but let's get the kick tracks going here.
I guess we could finish up the last little bit here while you're doing that. Finish up the last little bit of crypto here. News. SEC approves conversation of Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund into an ETF holding the following cryptocurrencies: BTC, ETH, XRP, Solana, and ADA. So basically everything that is in the crypto reserve. President Trump says he will not extend the July 9th deadline and doubts U.S. will make a trade deal with Japan, which is kind of shocking. I was actually kind of shocked when I read that.
Yeah, that is interesting.
We're going to sign a deal with China, but not sign a deal with Japan. And we're kind of lockstep with them, and they're literally part of the euro-dollar system. So that's kind of scary there. Figma disclosed 70 million investments in spot BTF or BTC ETF. Board approves additional 30 million BTC purchase, which I thought was a pretty big deal. Trump says that Fed Powell, Jerome Powell, is a moron. Shocking.
I still don't understand why President Trump doesn't understand that it's a committee that votes on the interest rates. It's not up to Powell himself. I guess he needs someone to beat up, and he can't beat up the whole committee, especially since many of the people on the committee are Republicans and were put in office as governor while Mr. Trump was president the first time.
Yeah.
As governor of the regional banks. You're right. All right, Pedro. Well, I guess we can head out for today.
Excellent.
An interesting show from the car here, coming to you from the home state of the United States Ambassador Pete Hoekstra. He is from Michigan.
You're breaking up, bud.
Actually, he's from Holland. He's from the Netherlands. He moved to But great state of Michigan, and their crazy-ass drivers have been giving Mrs. Striking a run for her money, and now it's my turn to drive also. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. We'll be on the air tomorrow for our normal show. Friday is 4th of July. We'll be off, the holiday day. But look forward to some social media with some clips of videos that I'm going to be posting, the content from our shows. Short, sweet ones that you don't have to watch our hour-and-a-half to 2 hour long shows, but you can watch the little clips about them too. Anyway, on behalf of Pedro Garcia and myself, as I always say, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. Just keep going in the street. It's just splitting after construction. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all good.
My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking. The man in the box above my head today is none other than Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst and co-host of this great show. We'll see all you guys tomorrow, so be there.